So this video is about our arrival in Urumqi, the provincial capital of Xinjiang Province, and then goes on to explain our journey off towards Mongolia.
And after checking into the not really expensive but still decent hostel in Urumqi, we went to do the first thing that we wanted to do is to cut our hair, because we haven't had a haircut for last maybe 3 months. Like you could see in that video that my beard is pretty nice.
Pretty beardy, pretty big.
Yeah, so let's go and have a haircut. How do you feel after losing so much hair?
I'm very torn between it's good for my hair to have all the rubbish ends cut off, and oh my god, I look like a boy, my hair is so short.
Not that bad, but... So, the second thing that we wanted to do is
visit Xinjiang Regional Museum, which showcases a lot of Xinjiang's history, complicated history, and it kind of explains about the minorities that live there. It is the most diverse province of all of China. So there's lots of representations of different countries.
favorite thing in exhibition that we saw was the beating up device.
Yeah. So they've got like old shoes and leather shoes, and they're like old shoes on the name tag, and there was one that was just like a big stone.
It's like looking like an axe or something, and it's written like beating up device. I need one.
in the evening.
Probably not gonna be a good hitchhiking starting point today.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's taken us 2 hours to get here, and I think we've still got a bit of distance to cover.
Basically, we are in the traffic right now.
Yeah.
So, why did we stay so long in Urumqi? What did we do here?
We stayed so long in Urumqi. It wasn't planned because we needed to get some photo, video stuff done, which we did. But there was so much to look through and sort out that it took longer than normal. Like a month's worth of photos, and for the video, so much footage. So
and it takes so long time to edit. But we managed to go to the museum today, Xinjiang Museum.
yeah.
With a lot of security, we double check into the museum.
It was very interesting learning about all the minority people.
And ethnicities.
Yeah. And the history. Xinjiang Province has like crazy amounts of history. We even saw some mummified
people.
Oh yeah, we saw some mummified men, mummified children.
Yeah, the mummified baby was a bit strange, a bit creepy. Yeah, but that was really interesting, otherwise.
Yeah, hopefully it's not gonna take us 5 days to go to the Mongolian border.
This shows my brain capacity for pretty much the entire day. It's been pretty low today.
Like every other day. The more hair you cut, the less brain you have. Okay, let's try again. Now with the turned on microphone. I'm doing this maybe for the third time because first I messed up, second I forgot to turn on the microphone, I messed up second time, and now I'm trying to do this again. So the morning started really cool. We woke up 60 kilometers outside the Urumqi city and walked a little bit to the gas station to get some breakfast. After the breakfast, we started to hitchhike, but the police officer stopped and he's like, "Where you go?" And we were like, "We're going towards the city, close to the Mongolian border." And he's like, "Okay." Gets out of the car and starts hitch cars for us, like starts stopping cars and asking if they're going the way that we need to go. Finally, he managed to hitchhike 5 cars, and all 5 of them, they are a group of tourists from Shanghai who's going towards where we need to go. But before that, they stopped to see this amazing Tianxi Lake, which was a little bit too costly for us because it's 215 yen just to go and see Alpine Lake. So we just sitting on the side and waiting for them to come back. So yeah, but yeah, go to Kyrgyzstan and see the lake for free, I would say. Instead of paying 215 RMB for seeing a lake. Is that right, Maddie? Instead of paying 215 RMB for lake, would you just go for Kyrgyzstan and go to see it for free? Yeah. So Chinese tourists, please go to Kyrgyzstan and see the lake for free instead of paying 215 RMB here in China. Again, welcome from in the middle of nowhere. You see this side, nothing, and this side, all the cars going that directions. No cars go that direction where we need to go. Anyway,
So we just had breakfast with the gas station guy from last night and his wife and her friend, and they were so nice and generous. And yesterday ended kind of bad for me because I lost my sleeping mat. I left it in the car thinking, oh, I've got everything, I've got my backpack, but we took the sleeping mat off so it fit in the trunk. So I was annoyed about that. So we stopped at the gas station to buy water and beer, and this guy was so nice. He let us cook our dinner in the kitchen of the gas station, and then this morning he just wandered over to the tent. We only went maybe 400 meters, 300 meters from the gas station to camp because it was so dark, and the whole landscape is the same. There's nowhere to hide, there's nothing. So we're like, all right, whatever, we would just put the tent here. And then this morning I get out the tent and he's like wandering over like, hello. So we went and had breakfast with him. And now we are finally on what should be the last stretch of Chinese road before the Mongolian border. There's around 150 kilometers left and 2 or 3 small towns before the border, and then around 70-80 kilometers until the first town.
All the road for ourselves! All the road for ourselves!
We've been standing here for only like 5 minutes, and 2 cars have gone past. And there's lizards. We're having a great time so far.
So now we are 85 kilometers away from border with Mongolia that we're trying to cross for the last 2 to 3 days, and we're having a nice visit to the police station and they're checking our passports right now. So much fun.
Yeah. It's like every town you try and enter and exit, you need your passport, but there's no town here. It's just a road.
Crossroad.
Yeah, crossroad. So.
We had a really interesting check on the police station, like 80 kilometers before the border, and then this nice gentleman brought us to this point, and he's gonna go this way, and we need to go this way, another 60 kilometers, which means not so many transport going on, and he's helping us to get a car. 60 kilometers to Mongolia, hopefully we're gonna cross today. And Maddie is doing a social media stuff. Good girl, do it. And you guys enjoy it.
So, just to explain what you just seen, it was a fight. And why that fight happened, we're going to explain you now, but it was really intensely weird because both of us, we're sitting in the back of the car with the backpacks on our lap, and we're thinking, should we get out and help either or of those sides who's fighting, or should we just sit in the back and don't move? Because in China it's usually, if something like that going on and they see foreigner, the fight or like the incident stops straight away because they don't want to embarrass themselves, I assume, or it's gonna be directed from the fight between 2 sides towards the foreigners. So what happened yeah, explain what happened and like how did we ended up being in the car which got in the fight with another car.
So we were hitchhiking. This is, I think, the very final part towards the Mongolian border. And that part was quite a few short distance hitchhikes, like 30 kilometers kind of distance. One of the cars that picked us up was this three kind of young, I think, Kazakh minority
25,
guys. Yeah.
27.
Similar age to us, really. They were big guys though. And they were driving, no problem. And then this car with, we later found out, some Chinese men in. Kind
It's
of,
like minivan looking car.
yeah, it kind of started swerving in the direction of the car we were in, and they almost went off the road. They were like beeping and stuff, and this car finally went back into their lane. But the guys in our car did swear. As I understand, they swore at them. They
So
did some
the
hand signal that.
The guy in the front seat. So basically, what happened? There was a car swerving on the road, and we were like, the car that we've been at, we wanted to overtake them, and the car just swerved, and these guys were beeping, and at the moment when we were about to pass, the guy in the front passenger seat opened the window and like cussed something and showed the gesture which I've seen in Russia. Like Russian people usually use this. Sometimes you can see in Eastern Europe as well, but the gesture looked like this, like a nose.
Yeah, because to me that's like, got your nose.
Yeah, so this gesture in that part of China, it's not really good as we understand. So what happened then? That the car that were swerving,
yeah.
they got to the point when we had to get off the road through the dirt road because they were building some kind of checkpoint or something.
Yeah.
And the car just cut us off, and like five guys jumped out of it and open the doors of the car that we are in and just kick the driver, get another guy out. So all three guys got out. We are sitting in the car and like, what to do?
Yeah, the Chinese guys were quite a lot older than the guys we were in the car with, maybe like 50. But
40s, yeah.
one of them was just angry, like uncontrollably angry.
And you don't know, like, they don't seem like they would have a guns, but this one guy, I'm gonna cut that in, I think. This one guy just hits the guy who showed the gesture, like slaps him in the face, not fist,
That's slapping
but
him on the
slap him
head.
in the head,
Yeah.
in the face. And he holds the hand behind his back, like he's about to pull out something, like waiting for him to react and hit him back so he can pull out a knife or something.
Yeah.
And we don't really know, was it a knife or... So yeah, just...
Yeah, it was, because sitting in the car, you're kind of a target because they can just open the door and go for you. But getting out of the car, you make yourself a target if they haven't already seen that you're there. But the guys we were with didn't fight back. The guys we were with were beaten up and didn't hit back
tried
once.
to, like,
they were like
cover,
protecting
yeah,
themselves, but they didn't hit anyone. They didn't slap anyone.
So these guys got back in their car, we got back in our car. The guys that we are with them in the car, they were kind of angry and they called the police, as I understand. And there was another checkpoint that we needed to pass, but by the checkpoint it's not the police, but it's military, so they just checked our passports. These guys let us in the checkpoint, but the Chinese, but the car that was opposite to the car that we've been at, they left, so they didn't catch them.
Yeah, it seemed like the guys in our car told the military post what happened, because we got there quickly. We actually took a diversion over the top of a hill instead of following the road to get there before this other car. And then the police, the military just let this other car through. But a police car did turn up a little bit after, and these guys explained, but the car was already gone by that point.
I don't know. If you have ever been in a situation like that, what would you do? And yeah, I don't know, like, because we were just like, okay, we're just gonna be calm, be in the car, and just like, if we're gonna be asked to get out, we're gonna get out. But I don't know, I did not see necessity to get involved into the fight.
But I didn't personally feel threatened. I remember not personally feeling threatened, even though there were 5 guys against 3 guys, and you and me being the only girl was obviously quite foreign. I didn't feel like I was going to be in trouble, so I don't know, it's just really interesting because you hear Xinjiang Province is so diverse. You hear about minorities having problems, but it was the first thing we'd seen. Everything else was super calm, everyone was really friendly. That was the only thing we saw that was...
Well, cops in Vietnam, they are a bit
Well,
annoying.
yeah, but that's Vietnam. That's a whole different thing. Be careful in Moi Nye.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And what else do we need to say?
Put a comment down below if you have anything that you like or if you think we could improve as well. We always like to hear your feedback.
Yeah, and see you next time when we're gonna go through Mongolia.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yurts and horses. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.